the lead up to my 40th birthday, my brain kind of freaked out a little bit. And probably like every other woman out there, I said to myself, I have to do something really big just to prove to myself that I still got it. I am not over the hill and that I'm not a washed up middle-aged woman. And so I decided I was going to do a half Ironman because I love running, I love biking, and I can swim. So I trained for it. I trained half the amount of training that I should have done just because I decided late. And so I didn't get all the weeks in for training. But nonetheless, I completed the half Ironman and it was a huge success. And I felt very, very proud of myself. And shortly thereafter, my knee started to hurt. My left knee, I've had 2 full ACL repairs on it when I was 19 and 20. So way back in the day when they would totally cut you right open and then put you in a cast so you can't move your leg for 6 weeks and you lose all your muscle. Like way back in the day when it was a super invasive and you didn't move your leg forever. So they would just immobilize you. So my left knee, I also it would stick a lot. And so over the years, I would go in and be like, hey, my knee's sticking. And they would say, oh, we'll just scope it. We'll go in arthroscopically, and we'll just cut out those little bits that are floating around and making your knee stick. So I had many of those, many, many, many. And now they don't do them anymore, of course, because of what I'm experiencing. You have no cartilage left. They just cut out so much. Now you don't have any more. And now you have bone on bone, and now you have arthritis. But as my knee started to hurt after I had finished that half Ironman, I got in to see a specialist. And I said, my knee's hurting. And they took x-rays and they're like, girl, you have no cartilage. They didn't say that, but they might as well have. Girl, you ain't got no cartilage. So they said, girlfriend, you have no cartilage and you are needing a full knee replacement. But because you're only 40, you need to do pain management until you're old enough to get a knee replacement, which is like 70 years old. Because the knee replacements back then only lasted 10 years. And you can't have multiple knee replacements. It just doesn't work like that. So the doctor said, do pain management and come back in, when you're old enough to get a knee replacement. And that was it. And I was devastated because he said, stop running, take up biking, just make sure that you're not in pain. So basically he was saying, take Advil, take pain medications. And I don't take any kind of drugs. Like my mission in life is to be as natural as possible and stay away from any kind of medication. So I was devastated. And they're like, don't run anymore. I was totally and completely devastated. And then I got mad because I thought that can't be the answer. That can't be the only solution to this as a young woman with so much of her life ahead of her and an active person. I'm not going to sit on my butt. I might as well die right there. And so I changed my lifestyle. I had a studio at the time. I helped women with pre and postnatal fitness. We had such a fun, amazing thing going there. And I decided I was going to get spin bikes because this way it's super easy on my knee and there's no impact. So if I needed to change, I changed up everything that I did in my life, my whole work. I changed my work so that it was way easier for me to do my work, but not be in pain. And we had a lot of fun with those spin bikes. So I also, out of my anger that this can't be the only solution, started to look into how I can help my knee. And the answer that I found was change your food, change your diet. So I went to a plant-based diet so I could reduce inflammation and get rid of this arthritic pain in my knee. My knee was hurting when I would sit or drive, when your knee's in a certain position. And my knee would really throb when I was laying down, so I couldn't sleep. I just remember crying myself to sleep. It hurt. It was such a an intense pain that I couldn't get comfortable and I couldn't sleep. And so I started to look for an answer, which as I do. I'm a curious person by nature. I love to see how can our body solve for this problem. So I became a plant-based person to reduce inflammation and to make sure that my body was alkalized and that it could heal itself. I needed to get my body into homeostasis so it could heal itself. And what happened was the arthritic pain went away. Today I'm 55 and I still don't have any arthritic pain at all. This is all done by my mindset, my lifestyle, and my nutrition. My nutrition was the biggest one for sure, 100%. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because I went into the doctor's office and the doctor told me, hey, it's over. Just go home, sit on a couch and take pain meds. And if I would have listened to him, I would be in a totally different spot where I am now. But I didn't, because I believe that not everything that people tell me is true. And if somebody tells me something I don't like, I find my own answer. So I feel bad because of all the people that go to the doctor. And the doctor who's trained, like the doctor I went to, is a surgeon. So he's trained to do surgery. And so what he told me was life-changing, and it could have been life-ending in a sense of if I couldn't move or do athletics or play sports, I would have died inside. It would have been horrible for me. And how many people have gone through that where they don't have my mindset of like, let's find another way to do it. And they accept what they're told. So their brain tells them this is a doctor and they know what they're talking about. So whatever they tell me is the gospel. And I don't believe that. So that's how I created something different for myself. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because I think that this happens in life across the board, and especially in midlife. Where are we? I feel like as midlife women, we're getting caught in social constructs of what it should look like and what we should be doing and how we should be feeling and all of that. And I am going deeper and deeper and deeper into how to coach the subconscious brain, like how to coach your subconscious mind. And the deeper I go into this, the more convinced I am that we can create anything we want when we are in control of our brain, which means when we are mindful. How many things in life do we just walk through and we just take as face value? We don't question it. I like to question everything. And when I do, when I'm curious, I find answers. I find answers that didn't exist before, just from sheer curiosity. And this is what I help my clients with. When we hit midlife, we're like, this is just the rest of my life. I'm like, no, this is where we just get started. What do you want to create? Who do you want to become? I have this one client who had lost a lot of weight, and over the years, she'd always gained it back. And for the first time ever, she's lost it and kept it off because of her mindset. Sure, she knows what to do. She knows the foods to eat and how to work out and all that, but it's the mindset. Not only has she been wildly successful with her weight, but she also has MS. And with MS, they tell you who you are becoming. They tell you what to expect. So this is in your brain. This is what's going to happen to me. And because this woman has opened up her mind to other possibilities, she now isn't taking any medications anymore for MS, totally off. And she has never felt better. She's more active. She's more full of life and strong and just like living life to the fullest. And when she goes in and blows her doctor's minds, the doctors will say, well, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how this is happening, but we do. She has taken her health into her own hands. And she didn't take what the doctor told her and said, okay, this is me. I'm going to put this on and this is who I'm going to become. She's like, no, there's another way. There's another way. And then she went out and created that. She did it and created that reality for herself. So shout out to you, Cindy. I just am in awe of her dedication to her own health. And because that's the way I feel. I feel like my health is my responsibility and your health is your responsibility. And not only just your health, but your existence, what you're creating for yourself in midlife. I get so excited because I feel like we get to start over, because not only do we know better who we are, we have more life experience. Our kids, we're letting go of our kids, so we have more free time. We could create anything. We could become anybody we want. This is our time to just go, screw it. This is what I'm going to become. This is what I'm going to create. Get rid of all the thoughts in your brain about what your parents thought you should be or how you should be living your life, and be like, this is my time. What do I want to create for myself? Because the possibilities are endless. And that's where I'm at. I am looking at things that I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, where did that come from? Where did that thought come from? Do I believe that? Is that helping me fly? Or is that keeping me small and grounded? And is it a limiting? Where did this come from? Is it even true? And questioning not even what I think to be true, but just society in general. There are so many things that have been put on us as humans that we don't question. And so we just take it as yeah, that's just how it is. And when you start to look for other possibilities, guess what you find? You find other possibilities, and they are mind-blowing. So when somebody comes to work with me, I can see their limitations, and I encourage them to question everything. And once they start to question it, it crumbles. And then anything is possible. And this is where it starts to get good. So the way our mind works is really, we're in prediction. We're trying to predict what's happening, but we couldn't possibly predict the future. So we want to be really mindful. We want to be in this moment. And when we're mindful, we're noticing what our mind is doing. The average mind has 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. This is all subconscious. This is all what's running the show. This is where your brain is like, what do I do all the time? And how can I put this on autopilot so I don't have to put energy towards thinking about it? Your brain is like, how can I stay safe? And how can I conserve energy? So how can I seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy? That's all your brain is thinking of doing. So it's like, oh, conserve energy is things I do all the time. Just put it on autopilot. And I'm like, let's not do that. Let's be mindful of everything we do. Mindful. You can change everything when you're mindful, when you're noticing what your brain is doing. And then you're intentionally directing your brain. It's so funny when you're learning something new and you're finding these people that do these studies and they offer up these new possibilities to you. You're like, damn, how did I never see that before? When these are kind of subtle, subliminal thoughts and suggestions that are just offered up to us, and we just take it in without even realizing it, that it's a possibility. So I believe that we have the ability to heal our body. First of all, we know, if you listen to my podcast, thank you. And it's, that our goal is to get our body into homeostasis, because the human body is designed to heal itself. So how do we do that? Toxicity, too much of something, deficiency, not enough of something, we've got to fix those. And once we fix those, our body is designed to heal itself. That's the beautiful part. But if we don't think that that's possible, then that's what we're creating for ourselves. So when we're mindful of what we're thinking, because every thought we have is an intention that we put out, that we create for ourselves. Remember, when we have a thought, it's like there's a genie on our shoulder, and every thought we think, the genie makes it happen, it come into fruition. So this is so powerful, this brain of ours. And if we can control it and use it to create stuff we do want, not use it against ourselves. A lot of times we use our imagination against ourselves. And I'm a pretty creative person. I have a lot of imagination. And so I want to use that for myself. So instead of being like, what if, trying to predict the future and then living in fear, because those things don't even happen. We don't even know if they could ever, if that's going to happen, but we're fearing it. Instead, we can create the future from that same brain, because anything is possible. If you can think it in your brain, it's possible for you. So when you think from that mindset, from the mindset of anything that is in here is a possibility. I don't know how, maybe I don't know how, but I don't need to know how. I just need to know that it's possible. So when we're not running on predictability and fear, we're using possibility and inspiration. That's how we can use our imagination. Every word you say, every word you hear, it just has so much power, so much power. And how can you heal your body this way? Because every thought you're thinking has a chemical reaction in your body. So if you need to create more of something in your body, you can do that by directing your brain. If you need less of something in your body, you can do that by directing your brain. And one of the ways is having awareness. If you have an injury going on and you check in on it, because your injury isn't always painful, but the only time you're aware of it is when it's painful. So your brain is thinking this is always painful. But if you check in, you might be like, oh, actually, it's not painful now. I'd never noticed that before. I only noticed the pain. So you're focusing on pain, more pain. There's been so many studies done, and it's all based on you directing your brain. You're in charge of your brain. And so if I only tell you this, that everything you think comes into fruition, wouldn't you be like excited to have that power over your life? I know I am. I'm like, what do I want to create today? How do I create that with my brain? How do I take this? I'm not going to listen to what anybody else tells me that doesn't serve the purpose that I'm trying to create for myself. And once we're mindful, meaning we're aware of what we're thinking and creating for ourselves, and if we don't like it, we're going to change it. And applying this to midlife. And when we get into midlife, health becomes an issue. So we want to be the healthiest version of ourselves. And I will show you how to do that through using your mind. When you come and work with me, that's what I help you with. Of course, we'll talk about weight loss because that's what most women want to talk about. But as we get older, we're going to transform that into health and wellness and longevity. How long can you live a super healthy life to do all the things? It's not you want to live for a long time. You want to live for a healthy, active, fabulous time. And after that, you're good. You've done your thing. You can let go. But you want to be living large until you take your last breath. This is my mission, is to help as many women in midlife as possible achieve this, to believe in themselves and to teach them how to do it for themselves. It's not outside of you. So I teach my clients these techniques and they take it and they run with it and they create magic in their lives because they believe that they can, and it's possible for you too. So if you're listening to this podcast and you feel hopeless or you feel purposeless or you feel stuck, and you just don't know how to move forward, just come and work with me. Oh my gosh, I have made the Mastering Midlife membership. Over the years, I worked one-on-one with clients and done all the things. And for me, I'm so excited about this and what I'm creating and the life I'm living. And I want every midlife woman to experience this and have this possibility for themselves. So I have created a membership where it's literally $47 a month. It is insanely good value for what it's like. You'll never find this anywhere else. And the reason I do it is because I want to build community, because I think right now the world is lacking community. And the more we come together, the stronger we are. And the more amazingness we can create, not only for ourselves, because as women, I know we're kind and compassionate and we want to make the world a better place for our kids and our grandkids. And so this is what I'm creating. And if you want to be a part of it, hit me up and I can put you into the membership group. It's life-changing. Whoever you surround yourself with is what you become. So you want to be in this room. You want to be hanging out with these women that are creating amazing lives for themselves, because it is possible for you too. You just want to believe it. All you have to do is get your brain on board, and I can show you how. So please hit me up and jump in this group, and it will change your life forever. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first and have an amazing day.